wasn't expecting this, but I
Why
was
not?
just on
Why
Twitter.
weren't you expecting this?
Well, I wasn't expecting it to be this easy. Like, I would have thought there'd be more violence for mob rule in Britain, but apparently mob rule in Britain is just sitting down. That's enough.
Well, the necessary component for violence is resistance from the authorities.
Yeah, and there isn't any. So this is the thing I saw yesterday. Zara Sultana, MP, Labour MP, who is a charm to the Conservative.
She's an Islamo-leftist.
She's unbelievably a mess, and like she's only ever run one election in her constituency, and in that one election that got her elected, she lost 11% of the vote for Labour there. They just evaporated 11% by running. So
yeah, she's ideologically confused and somewhat of a midwit.
Anyway, so this is a clip she shared, which seems to show a bunch of people surrounding the police in Scotland, and then some guys in the back of the van, like, waving. I was like, okay, what the heck is this about? And this had, like, loads of retweets and likes, and I was just like, what? Like, how can this be a thing? So she said, in response to the Home Office immigration raid during Eid, the people of Glasgow mobilised, fought back, and got their neighbours released. What? So I went to the next link here, which is someone trying to explain what's going on here. And, she's there saying, okay, it looks like a suburb, Amir Arwed has negotiated their release. Like, their release.
Who is he? Who does he represent?
So he's the human rights law I have learned subsequently.
Right.
But if we go to the next one, it's like it's a hostage situation or something. But some person explains it here. The police tried to detain a couple of people in Glasgow suspected of being illegal immigrants on the day of Eid, the Muslim holiday. So the local residents came out of their homes and blocked the street to stop the police taking them away. They have now been released.
And this Amr Anwar was negotiating in this hostage situation against the state.
For his law-breaking client.
Well,
Like,
illegal immigrants.
There's no claim here that he is actually a legal immigrant. So far, I've only seen that, yes, we accept he's illegal, but he shouldn't be deported. It's like, I was just like, come on, this has to be just some stupid tweet. No way, no, it's real. It's real. So if you go to the next one here, this is the Socialist Workers' Party on Facebook celebrating
I love the framing there.
pig emojis, and the Home Office have backed down for now. They will be back, but this shows what we can do when we organise #refugees welcome. Socialist Workers' Party. And you can see red flags and Socialist Workers' Party literature and signs among the crowd of like 200 beta leftists. I mean, not a threat, that's the thing. These people aren't threatening in the slightest.
No, but what they're doing is, I mean, one of them was laying under the van and things like this. So they couldn't drive off, and essentially just forcing the government's hand to say, no, look, the laws don't matter.
But I don't even get it. Like, if you were the police, you just say, fine, we'll just wait. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm being paid.
We're the
to sit
state.
here.
We literally have unlimited resources.
Yeah, I'm literally being paid to sit here.
Yeah. You're not.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the police released a statement on this as well, in which they accepted the, I don't even want to
Moral
call it, like,
legitimacy of the protest.
beta terrorists here, because they're just so pathetic. That's the thing on my mind. Where it's like the threat is nothing. It's just some people.
That doesn't matter, right? Because the problem is that they acquiesced to the demands.
Sure, but if it was a bunch of Tommy Robinson supporters who had clubs or something, the police wouldn't waste any time. They'd get the shields out and they'd get stuck in. But
They'd batter them, yeah.
yeah, but a bunch of pathetic leftists sitting down, not doing anything, not really any threat at all, they buckle. They immediately buckle.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just something topsy-turvy about that whole thing.
Well, I think it's actually a lot easier to explain than you think, because when you have like these radical left-wing parties like the SNP who take over Scotland and start implementing leftist ethos, this is just an outgrowth of that. It's an outgrowth of the idea that, in fact, it is a mob of people have more legitimacy than the elected government of the country. That's entirely baked within left-wing philosophy. And so now we have a mob of people with literally forcing the police to release lawbreakers into the community. I mean, who knows what these people are? Who knows what crimes they've committed, other than the crime that they've already been established of having committed. Who knows what else they've done? We don't. But ideologically, but they're just an innocent refugee.
They don't believe in borders at all, because all foreigners are not people, they're angels.
Yes.
Who have never done anything ever.
Yes.
So this is the statement from the police here. In order to protect the safety, public health and well-being of people involved in the detention and subsequent protest in Kenmure Street, Pollock Shields today, Chief Superintendent Mark Sunderland has, following a suitable risk assessment, taking the operational decision to release the men detained by the UK immigration enforcement back into the community meantime. It's like, I don't know what's wrong with the grammar there. That's not me. That's really weirdly written. But just, we saw some people sitting around, and therefore we decided to take the decision to not enforce the law.
Yeah, but why can't this standard now apply to every single act of apprehending a criminal? It of course can and will. This is gonna the left. I've seen them like crowing about this all over social media. This has been great. This look, direct action. Okay, well you're gonna get more of it.
Well, it's not even hard. That's the thing. Is all you have to do is just sit there, and the police will buckle.
Yeah.
You don't have to do a thing. You don't have to do anything even risky.
Yeah, because they're commanded by leftists who also fundamentally believe what the mob has done is just.
I mean, imagine doing this. So when, let's go to the next tweet here. Is just Count Dankula pointing out that you can have 7 offers kick down your door over some tweets, but literally sneak into a country illegally and just be let go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pathetic. I mean, if a bunch of guys went down when Count Dankula was arrested and sat around by the van, what would they have done?
Clubbed them.
Clubbed them.
Yeah.
There's no way they would have just released Count Dankula and be like, oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Oh, well, if community action says so.
Yeah, it's complete double standard. Okay, fine. But that's the thing in my mind. Like, sure, we could go out and just sit around, but they just club us. They wouldn't waste any time whatsoever.
It's because the government is controlled by leftists.
This is, in case you were wondering, Nicola Sturgeon's constituency in which this took place as well. So I imagine strings pulled immediately.
I imagine pretty woke too.
Yeah, so the BBC also reported on this. So it's not just some videos. You can see the Socialist Worker Party placards in the background there.
Yep.
And they stressed that the police stressed that they did not assist in the removal of the asylum seekers, and that the officers at the scene were there to police the protest and ensure public safety. Nicola Sturgeon is quoted as saying no assurances were given when she called up Westminster about these men, as in they wanted to say that the people in Westminster were like, no, we're going to deport them if we get a hold of them. She was like, but you have to give me assurances that they won't. Why? And she also says that, frankly, no empathy was shown when I managed to speak to the junior ministers.
What?
Why would they show any empathy?
They should be deported.
But also, it doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're a minister for law enforcement, you're there to enforce the law. It is not about whether or not it's right or wrong. That's for you to decide in Parliament. But, the police on the ground here and the guys operating to just enforce the law, doesn't matter. Like, the guy's broken in illegally, getting deported.
Yeah.
But no, I have sympathy for him. He should not. He should.
Oh, sure, I've got
not
sympathy
be
for him too.
enforced.
He shouldn't have broken the law.
I don't have any sympathy for him. No, that's not sympathy. Like, he shouldn't have broken the law. But
well, no,
shouldn't have sympathy for him.
the sympathy is in the moral incompetence of the person who committed the crime. I've got sympathy for lawbreakers. They need discipline.
Yeah.
And part of that discipline is enforcing the laws.
So Nicola Sturgeon released another few statements in which you can see just the insanity in which she lives. So the Home Office needs to ask itself hard questions after today, doing this on Eid, in the heart of our Muslim community, and in the midst of a serious coronavirus outbreak with staggering irresponsibility. But even deeper problem is the appalling asylum and immigration policy of deporting illegals. That's the policy. Illegal people, deport them. But you can see there her bringing up Eid, in the heart of our Muslim community.
Yeah.
She continued. So we go to the next tweet. This is her saying in here, I disagree fundamentally with the UK Home Office immigration policy of deporting people who come here illegally.
Of having borders. Right, okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
But putting that aside, this action was unacceptable. To act in this way in the heart of a Muslim community as they celebrated Eid and in an area experiencing a COVID outbreak was a health and safety risk.
God, find a consistent line. Is it because it's offensive to Muslims, or is it because it's risking COVID outbreaks, which obviously it's not?
Or do you just hate the law?
Or do you just want open borders and the abolition of Scotland?
Throwing stuff up into the air.
Yeah, she's just like, look at all these things. I hope something sticks.
And none of them make any sense. I mean, the immigration policy one, is the SNP's position no borders now?
Which it has to be if that is the position.
Okay. Also, the Eid thing. Let's go to the next tweet. And they're not Muslim.
Oh, they're not?
None of the guys are Muslim.
Where are they from?
They've got Punjabi names, so they sound Sikh.
Right, okay.
So
Nicola Sturgeon just assumed because she saw their skin colour.
She saw brown men.
They're brown and they've got beards. Those must be Muslims. Oh dear, Nicola. Oh dear. Oh dear.
They're a bunch of Muslims. Why? Because they got brown skin, says Nicola Sturgeon.
They're the people who founded a religion to resist Islam.
How dare you do this in the middle of Eid? Why? It's not a holiday. Well, we give a fuck.
Well, A, it's not Scottish holiday. B, it's not.
The law doesn't apply on the Scottish holiday of Eid.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's not a Sikh holiday, and that's not really relevant to when the state is carrying out the law. Yeah, exactly. Just
First Minister Nicola Sturgeon, mashallah, it is a holy day. No laws apply.
But it's mad.
What? Like, everything about this story doesn't make sense. Like, we were sending it to each other on Discord, looking at it like, None of this makes any sense whatsoever. Like, usually when there's a leftist breakdown or some nonsense, you can see the construction, but just everything just meshing together, but none of it fits. So the other way we know this is they did an interview with ITV, so we can go to the next link. You can see this guy here from ITV was
Mr.
able
Singh,
to interview them. And we're going to go to the first clip, which is just his lawyer and, presumably his friend explaining their position on it, which is stock leftist rhetoric. Let's play.
It's a cynical and provocative action by the Home Office to do it on the day of Eid. Let's be honest, they don't give a damn about the lives of these people. People of Glasgow do. This city is built on the backs of refugees, people who've given blood, sweat and tears to build this city. So we do have those proud traditions and we stand firmly with these men.
It has to be, fair and just. It doesn't have to be based on the climate of fear and hate, which is right now operated by Home Secretary Priti Patel and the Tories right now in this country.
Good endorsement of Priti Patel there.
Yeah, but that sort of rhetoric there, where he's like, oh, the whole thing, deporting illegals is based on hate, which is the Tories. It kind of makes me wonder, is this like a false flag or something? Because how do you get that many people out for something that's so obviously nonsensical, and then everyone going, yeah, but what about Eid?
I'm just surprised that he would come out with such obvious and full-throated advocacy of paedophilia, though, right? Because what you're saying is to arrest lawbreakers is to hate lawbreakers. And it's like, yeah, that's right. No, he's absolutely right. Yeah. And let's have a look at the other laws that are being broken and say, yes, we do hate those people too. It's actual hatred for paedophiles that forces us to arrest those paedophiles. And he's against that.
Yeah, I mean, if laws can't be applied on Eid because it's a holy day, well, then Muslim rapists can't be arrested on Eid. I mean, that's where that follows.
But one thing I find really hilarious about this, the guy behind him wearing the turban, obviously a Sikh, and he's wearing a Sikh logo. Sikh logo, yeah, with the three knives on his chest, and he's sat there on this holy day of Eid. And
it's kind of weird.
Yeah, right. Like, what?
So,
God.
As Andy notes here, in case you were without doubt, like, you can see the crowd. We're not going to play a clip, but you can go see it. They're just like a bunch of leftists who are sitting here shouting refugees are welcome here.
The white people that Humza Yousaf was complaining about, incidentally.
All of them white by the looks of it, because I mean, Scotland is like 99% white.
Yep.
But okay, whatever. Like, the idea that there's some crackdown on illegal immigrants in Scotland, what, all 10 of them? Like, name them by your hand, count them. Like, so, in case you're wondering as well, in case you really have sub-IQ, if some leftists has joined us, welcome. We're just going to point out the fact that, well, refugees, in case they are refugees, we have no idea if they're refugees or not, they just seem to be illegal so far, they're people. They're people too. And people are people, not angels. They are not some kind of beings from heaven who can do no wrong. And I just want to go back to this because I still can't get over this. I mean, this is in Glasgow. From Sudan to the Park Inn, the tragic story of a migrant's killing, from The Guardian. You can just scroll down to the first paragraph.
So I've not read this, and I don't know about this story.
We have read this before.
Have we? Okay, I can't remember. But the title implies that the migrant was killed.
Yeah, migrant was killed. For good reason. On the last Friday of June, at about midday, Brodin Abdullah Adam left his room at the Park Inn Hotel in Glasgow, walked down to reception and stabbed 6 people.
Jesus.
The 28-year-old asylum seeker from Sudan, who had been placed in the hotel as part of the UK government's emergency response to the coronavirus pandemic, stabbed and seriously wounded 3 other residents, 2 staff members and a policeman who arrived on the scene. Adam was shot dead by armed police officers shortly afterwards.
Good.
I mean, it's as simple as that. Asylum seekers, they're people. And therefore, they are to be treated as people, and therefore have to be processed because they may be bad people or good people. They are not all some kind of winging angels because they come from the mysterious foreign land leftists.
I just really hate the framing of that as well. It's like, asylum seekers are people, or illegal immigrants are people. It's like, yeah, I know. That's why we arrest them. Yeah. We don't bother arresting geese when they fly over illegally from Canada. Of course we wouldn't, because they're just animals, and they're not sucking up the benefits, and they're not going to go on a stabbing spree or anything like this. But unfortunately, the fact that they are people means we have to take action against them.
Leftist position, refugees are geese. Anyway, but we are talking to leftists, so I mean, let's just go to the next one. This is some other stuff I have to just note because it's amazing. So, I mean, this guy, Labour MP, John Trickett, £8.91 is the hourly minimum wage, £9.75 average cost of a takeaway. We have a system where curry is worth more than humans.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
This is so
No, this is so great. No, that's great. Right, okay, so
it's the best thing ever.
What else is worth more than humans? Well, the flowers I have to buy my wife, they're worth more than the human.
Yep.
So, darling, these flowers are worth more than you. So treat them well. Oh God, That is amazing.
It's just unbelievable. I don't even know if I have to say anything.
What an absolute throbbing brain like this guy has.
Like, these are the Labour MPs. I mean, I've showed you the clips from earlier, but good God. I mean, we have, like, all of them are Diane Abbott, not just Diane Abbott.
Painful midwittery.
There was a good put down I saw from a Conservative MP, so we go to the next one. It's just this guy, Aluminium Rage, £50 equals UK membership. £53 equals UK Labour membership. We have a system where... Oh, never mind. Just, what an idiot. What an absolute moron. And
That is such a dumb statement. I just can't get over it.
But also, in response to these guys being threatened with deportation because they were illegal, there was a member, the General Secretary of the Unite Union, which is basically a central part of the Labour Party, the Unite Union being a huge union in the UK. He's been suspended from the Labour Party for tweeting, "Deport Priti Patel," in response. So Priti Patel was getting, she's the Home Secretary, getting rid of these illegal migrants, and he's like, yeah, get rid of her.
So a bunch of illegal immigrants who are Sikhs pretending to be Muslims and are hiding behind this big, weird identity politics scandal, they stay, but Priti Patel, someone who is not an illegal immigrant and is an elected politician and is actually acting in the interests of Britain, should be deported. At least we're having the conversation about who should be deported at this point. I think we can make pretty compelling evidence that those people who rape children should be deported, and in fact not the people who are trying to stop them from raping children.
You are talking to the Labour Party, so I give
That's
you hope
true.
But the idea of deport Priti Patel, I mean, and a lot of people just took this as like, what, because she's got brown skin? Like, is that his opinion? I mean, that's why he's been suspended, because the Labour Party see this as an act of racism. Yeah. But I just want to, the response. So Owen Jones is obviously defending this guy, because of course you would. And I just love the second point here. This speaks of a factional attack, because they kicked him out, not treating racism seriously. Questions of racism are not factional weapons, and it's really grim to use them in such a way. But they are partisan weapons. They are partisan weapons to be used against the Conservatives, right-wingers, liberals, but not factional weapons to be used in left-on-left crime.
Just the irony of Owen Jones saying that.
Just if there's racism within the Labour Party, then don't use it, because that's a factional weapon and we shouldn't do that.
Unbelievable.
But if you can use it as a partisan weapon to hurt our enemies, then go for it, even if it's complete nonsense.
Unbelievable.
I mean, it seems weird to me to claim that he says deport Priti Patel and therefore it's because she's brown. It's like, no, because she's the Home Secretary. That'd be the reason. But I mean, the reverse here, Owen. I mean, let's say some other leftists, some right-winger had said deport Diane Abbott. I mean, you'd say it's because she's black, therefore you're saying get rid of her. In which case, you turn around and say that's racism, blah, 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 they should be kicked out of the Tory party. I just can't get over how just, like, this. Owen Jones has always been a bit of a meme, but very recently, I mean, with the free speech thing we did on him, we just said, yeah, death to free speech. And then this, it just has no mask anymore, does he?
It's crazy. It's
naked
just pure,
power.
Naked partisan politics. And the thing is, I would strongly oppose the deportation of Diane Abbott. We've got too few good comedians as it is.
So we need that goal.
So, no, we need the comedy, yeah.
Anyway, so last couple of things here. So just looking at the polling. So if you can take some solace, at least in the polling in the UK, in which you can see here the Conservative Party, massive high, 45%. Labour Party into the ditches of history. Good.
Well, the Conservatives doing nothing. Oh, what's happening? They're winning by just increasing literally by standing still and saying nothing. The Conservative Party are smashing the Labour Party.
The Tiger Patel method. But in Scotland, it's not going so well. So we go to the next one. So this is Scottish polling. So you can see there, SNP 26% lead on the Conservatives. What is wrong with Scotland? Like, what a mess.
Well, what is wrong with Scotland, Vicky?
It's the people of Scotland, like, literally mob rule in the streets. And, Nicola Sturgeon, the leader, jumps out there and is like, no, not my fellow Muslims. And they're like, I'm not Muslim. But...
Never mind. Yeah.
Didn't know you were either, but...
But the point is, they're brown, Nicola, so that's close enough, right?
I mean, with all the other memes, I mean, this is just the newest meme coming out of Scotland. But my God, what a mess.
If you enjoyed this segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can watch the full broadcast live every weekday at 1 p.m. UK time on lotuseaters.com.